Hello fellow YouTubers, this is YouTube Moses here for my picks of the week from January 9th to the 15th. So let's begin. For Sunday, I've watched The Girl Next Door, and I don't mean the sex comedy, I mean the horror movie based off a true story. And just a brief description about it, it's about a girl who's been tortured to death by her aunt, along with her kids, and I gotta say, this was really brutal, and just thought the mother was just filled with hateful rage against her. I mean, she has to be the worst mother to ever live, beating the one that deports her own kids to a different country. And one scene I want to bring up is that there's a lawnmower that this kid used where he has to turn the knob several times just to start it up. And you think that pulling on a string to start it up is a pain in the ass? Well, use these 50s lawnmower and you never want to get near those things again. Next one is 1408, the horror movie that I reviewed this week. Now, I've listened to the commentary, and the director and the writer said that John Cusack is considered to be God's most loneliest man, because he takes on a lot of movie roles where he's either a misfit or he's a loner that he just does things for himself. And I've also heard that the girl from the book signing of his, who brought one of his earliest novels he wrote, she was the one that sent her the postcard that said, "Don't go into 1408 at the Dolphins Hotel." And there was this UV ray scanner that John Cusack uses in every room that he goes into at a hotel. Was that to detect ectoplasm or just for household germs? I know that should be obvious, but still. And that seems like the sort of device that I would want to own. So, if you guys know where I can pick those up, then that would be really appreciated. Next one is Analyze This. And when it comes to mobsters, they either mean business or they just want to plain kill you. And there was a scene where a doctor got killed, I think, just because he brought up the term anxiety attack in front of Robert De Niro and his partner. And if you like to see Robert De Niro cry, then this is a really hilarious movie to watch to see him do that. And I don't mean in a dramatic tone, but just to see his full impression, just faking to see him cry, then yeah, I think this is worth a watch for you. Next one is An American Werewolf in London. Now, I didn't want to watch this at first because I've seen the earlier cover for it and thought it would be too scary, but when I saw this on a segment of Cinemassacre's Monster Madness, then it made me completely change my mind. And I've also watched the werewolf transformation in it on a YouTube video once, and a couple of people seen it in class once when I was watching it, and they were like, "What is that?" And I'm like, this is the best werewolf transformation that you'll ever see. And it even won an Oscar for that. But one thing I didn't get at all, and it's just this one thing, is the nightmare that David, the guy who's going to turn into a werewolf, was having, of these futuristic monster soldiers that's killing his whole family. And I didn't get that part at all. Did it had anything to do with him turning into a werewolf, or is that just what every typical young adult dreams of? Not even the commentary explains it, so somebody tell me. Next one is Knocked Up. Now, it made me wonder in the one sex scene between Seth Rogen and Katherine Heigl, how are you able to have sex while the person you impregnated is pregnant. And I know that they said that a lot of people are still able to have sex when they're pregnant, but while you're on top of the person, how still? And Katherine Heigl, I thought at first she was an alright actress when I first got to know her name, until I've seen her in an interview and how she's complaining about her acting career, and I'm like, really? It's really hard to do a bunch of films like romantic comedies, and she always talks down to the people she's working with, and another thing is that she never thanked the TV show Roswell, the show that gave her a big break in film. And I know that a lot of actors do that, like Johnny Depp in 21 Jump Street, for example, but he's an exception because he doesn't act like such a jerk like Heigl does. Next one is the girl who played with fire. Now, I know this is inferior to the girl with the dragon tattoo, but I really liked the sex scene in this. I was very keen on it because it was between Elizabeth and another girl, and we only see like a scene with her where she's sleeping with another girl, but we actually get to see them have sex. And I thought that would be the main reason for you to watch this. And there's this huge blonde-haired guy who basically has an immunity to pain. Like, if you try to punch him or anything, he doesn't feel anything. And if you taser him with a taser gun, then he doesn't feel anything. And I wonder how you're able to gain an immunity to pain. Like, that's hard as hell to do for someone as big as him. Last one is Once Upon a Time in America. Now, I don't have much to say about this, but that this should have been released in the full 3 hours and 49 minutes cut that it should be, because this has been cut down to 2 hours and 15 minutes in theaters, and it didn't got as much publicity that it should have. And I know it doesn't matter saying this, but if they released the full cut of this, then it could have got several Academy Award nominations and possibly won some of them. Because I thought the musical score to this was just dashing. I mean, it was amazing to listen to. And a lot of the actors, I thought they were phenomenal. And I just wish that a lot of people can just recognize this film. I find this to be Sergio Leone's best film that he ever made. So, that's all for my picks of the week. Hope you enjoyed it. Rate, comment, and subscribe. I'll be back later. Until then, this is Yuto Moses, signing out.